Hey guys, it's Troy Francis here in Las Vegas. Have a look at that. Right in the center of Sin City, right in the thick of it. And I'm doing a little, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to do a little video for you guys. And I wanted to, the idea for the title for this was going to be Life is a Gamble, because obviously life is a gamble, right? And we're in Sin City, we're in the casino hub of the entire planet, and it makes you think about life being a gamble and all the rest of it. But the way that I really want to direct this, when in Vegas, guys, the way I really want to direct this though is really towards the sort of the TRAD ideology that we see perpetuated, particularly on Twitter, but obviously also probably on YouTube as well. And there's this sort of, you know what really fucks me off about these TRAD guys, right? It's not so much that, okay, you want to have, you know, you want to get married, you want to have a few kids, you want to have a family life, conventional, traditional family life. That's absolutely fine. I've got zero problem with that whatsoever. Like, why the fuck? It's got nothing to do with me how you want to live your life. I don't care. What gets me about these people, though, is that they will proselytize in an aggressive manner, and they will tear strips off anybody who does anything at all different, or who seeks to live their life in a different way, or who thinks that, you know what, maybe the way that you're doing things, maybe that works for you, it's not necessarily going to work for me. And the sort of holier than thou attitude that we get from these people, I find, quite frankly, really fucking annoying. And I think it should be called out, because look, I mean, I'm sitting here in Las Vegas now, and I'm not saying, guys, you know, be a nearly 50-year-old guy and go to Las Vegas and it's all going to be great, because it fucking well isn't. And what annoys me as well is that sometimes I've done videos in the past, particularly over the last year and a half, and I've gone pretty deep in some of those videos. You know, I've gone pretty deep talking about stuff that I've been through, you know, relationship breakdown, sadness, loneliness, all of this kind of stuff. And the reason that I do that is because I want to try and be as upfront and honest with you guys as I possibly can. You know, I don't want to pretend that the lifestyle that I'm living is some sort of utopia, because, you know, because clearly it isn't, okay? But the truth of the matter is that any lifestyle that you decide to take on is going to have positives and it's going to have negatives, okay? It's going to have good parts to it and it's going to have bad parts to it. There is always going to be a trade-off, okay? And what gets me about these TRAD people is that the way that they present it, the only way to be happy and fulfilled is basically to be in a traditional situation where you've got a wife, a few kids, you know, you're working hard to foster that next generation, all that kind of thing. And it's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. The reason I say that is because, well, you only have to look at the divorce rates, right? The divorce rates are very high. It's about 50% across the board for first marriages. If you're looking at second marriages and you're looking at third marriages, it gets a lot higher, okay? Are people, even in marriages that remain together, are those people hugely happy? Well, not necessarily. Rich Cooper tweeted out a study recently that showed that actually many people in long-term relationships are not particularly happy, okay? It's a sad fact of reality. That's just the way it is. I've always said, I think monogamy is very difficult. I think monogamy is difficult for men, because men are, you know, programmed to spread their seed. Men are programmed to desire variety, but I also think it's very difficult for women as well. I don't think it's a walk in the park for women as well. I think women love the idea of monogamy. They love the idea of marriage before they actually do it, you know? And then when you do it, and you're 5 years down the line, you're 6 years down the line with that same person, and it's, the spark's gone, the lust is gone, it's all getting a little bit kind of dull, samey, whatever. That's when people's eyes start to wander. That's when the pool boy starts to look particularly attractive to the wife. That's when infidelities happen, and that's when it all goes to shit, okay? So to pretend that there's a sort of a setup here, which is the right setup and the godly setup, and this is the one that everybody should be doing, and if you don't do this one, then you're going to be unhappy. And if you do the one over here, which is traveling to Vegas and being a degenerate and I don't know, whatever, maybe not going down that conventional route, you're going to be damned to a lifetime of unhappiness. It's just absolute nonsense. It's a binary that doesn't make any sense. The reality, the stark reality, is that there are trade-offs to both positions, and there is unhappiness inherent in both positions. Now, that's not to say that somebody can't get into a wonderful relationship, meet a wonderful partner, and have a fantastic marriage, and it's all going to be great. Sure, that happens. I'm sure you can anecdotally cite cases where that's happened, or some people can. I'm not sure I can particularly. I can't think of that many people where it's kind of worked out like that, but I'm sure there are examples of that. But realistically, those are the outliers. Okay, the people who are doing the trad stuff, by and large, it sounds great on Twitter. The trad stuff sounds amazing on Twitter. You know, it's like, yeah, just, you know, you've got a tribe to raise, you know, raise soldiers, you know, don't forget about this party and forget about the club, you know, you should be like looking for a good woman so that you can settle down and, you know, have all of these amazing things and pass on your lineage to that next generation. It all sounds great, the rhetoric is amazing, but then when you go out in like Croydon or Wigan or, you know, small town America, and you look at these people, you look in the eyes of the people who've taken those life choices, do they look ecstatically happy? Fuck no, they don't. Most of them look miserable as sin. You know, a lot of divorces happen, a lot of bad shit happens. That's just the way it is. Now, again, let's not be binary about this. I'm not then saying, okay, so never get married. You know, you've got to make your own choices in life, right? If you meet somebody and that's what you want to do, particularly if you want to have kids, you think, okay, this person, I think this can work out. She's a cool person. I love her. I reckon this can go the distance. Plus, I want to have kids, so, you know, that's got to come into the equation as well. Absolutely fine. Go for it. But you've got to be aware of the risks, and don't be hoodwinked into thinking that road is the road that will lead you to definite happiness, and the other road definitely won't, because it's just, as I say, just complete nonsense. It doesn't pass the reality test, like so many things that you see on the internet. You know, it all sounds good, it all makes sense on Twitter or X or whatever, or in YouTube videos and things. And then when you go into the real world, you see that actually it's a lot more complicated than that. It doesn't just break down in that very straightforward way. So all I would say is just be very wary of people who come to you with these absolutist positions and say, no, the only way you're going to be happy, or the only way you're going to be really fulfilled, is if you do this. Because the truth is, we have to find our own fulfillment in life, all right? And people find it in different ways, and your way might be the conventional family and marriage route. It may well not be, and I think for a lot of people, I think for a lot more people than would admit it, it probably isn't. So I'm going to leave it there. See you very soon. Bye-bye.